fetch the toast. Ooh-ah. Big trouble in little chat. Yeah, buddy. Four engines. Four screaming diesel electrics. Oh my God, you live by an airport? Yeah, I know. Is that a jet? Someone on YouTube equated wearing a mask to wearing a gold star. This world has become incredibly dumb. I mean, become incredibly dumb, dude. This world is the world that actually put gold stars on the Jews. Like, it's the same world. It's we've always been incredibly fucked, bro. Like, we live in the same... There were people that were alive then, you know what I mean? That are still alive now. It's the same fucking world. The world's hit an intellectual rock bottom. I don't know about that. Your average person now in the Western world knows more than your average fucking philosopher scientist back in the day. You know what I mean? When it comes to like truth about the fucking universe as we can understand it. We can't be smart enough. We can't be good enough. There's now officially more kids in cages. Those are not cages, dude. They are federally approved, unaccompanied minor detention facilities, okay? It's basically Disneyland with bars, all right? So let's stop being uncharitable to Joe Biden. By the way, we're going on like almost like it's looking like it's going to be 2 months with no like public press conference from Joe Biden at all. Like the last time we heard Joe Biden speak in public, I think was for the Super Bowl with his wife sitting next to him. What's going on with that? Where Joe? Weekend at Biden's. You think they got him like propped up in there like... Hashtag where's Joe? He spoke this week about the vaccine. Yeah, no fucking press conference, no press pool, no like, here's what we're working on. A big Polly. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's sequel. They go to like a tropical island or something, and a voodoo person puts a spell on him. A voodoo priestess or some shit puts a spell on Bernie to make him come back to life and walk around when there's like reggae music playing. Yeah. He just... What a fucking movie. Holy shit. Who knew that movie was going to become more relevant every year? Just got off work. Good for you. You're done. I'm done with work for a couple of days. It feels pretty good. Corpse president. The corpse prez. Dino is just fine. You just got the notification. Yeah. I mean, it's 6 minutes out and we got 55 fucking folks in here. So I'm guessing that YouTube has decided to be nice and slow as usual. Work. Lol. Man, this is the fucking greatest thing. This is the greatest troll job ever. You work all day and then somebody puts work in fucking parentheses and follows it up with an LOL. It's like, no, I guess I played all day today. I guess that's what I did. Sweet. Got them sleigh bells popping. I wish I could play all day and make money. I like my job. Is that what fucking makes it not a job? That I enjoy doing my job, or that I own my own business, or whatever the fuck? I guess so. Work. Work. LEL. LEL work. People want you to be as miserable as they are. I am, okay? I'm every bit as miserable as you. All right? Fair? Fair. I didn't go to college to become a podcaster, so it must not be a real job. I actually did go to college to be a podcaster. I just don't talk about my many higher learning degrees in podcasting because I don't want to brag. Okay? I'm a doctorate of podcasting. Smirnoff Ice is not a man's drink. Smirnoff Ice is cheerleader beer, dude. Cheerleader beer. Yeah, it gives you a fucking headache. It's nothing but alcohol and sugar. It's terrible. Mike's hard, yeah. Drink like a man. Let's see how this fire is doing. It's still looking pretty fucking wimpy. What's the problem here, fire? Need another squirt of go juice? Need another squirt of boom boom juice? All right. Let's get crazy with it now. Let's get the boom boom juice going. I've been pretty good about these fires lately, but tonight this one's fighting me. Caveman energy. Dude, I would have been a fucking dope caveman. You realize this, right? I'd have been the coolest fucking caveman. Think about it, dude. You know, I would have set up some way to be like a shaman in the tribe or something. And I'd be like sitting in the cave and people would be bringing me buffalo meat and I'd be like telling them what it meant, you know? It'd be dope. I'd have been a fucking Really good caveman. Neanderthal, yeah. Any reading recommendations? I'm looking for stuff to read that was formative to other people's worldviews. Read Johnny Got His Gun by Dalton Trumbo. One of the more formative books that I've ever read. My male power fantasy is to spear hunt with a tribe, chasing a gazelle for 20 miles and then enjoying the feast while the sun sets. Oh, I like that. Well, the sun sets. Three chapters into Johnny Got His Gun, huh? Crazy. Crazy. How we doing back there? Still a Smoky Joe? Really? Nah, you're going now. You're doing okay back home. You think? You gonna make it happen this time? Gonna have some actual fire going here or nah? I'm gonna let it do its thing. Although I'm not liking what a Smoky Joe this is. I think it's okay. I feel like it's gonna be okay. We'll see. Oh my God, dude, ouch. This ponytail has officially given me a headache. That means it's time to get rid of the ponytail. Oh, that feels so good. Hair down. Ponytail all day makes hair floofy, I guess. Oh, that feels so much better. Gotta let the scalp breathe a little bit, yeah. Oh man, that feels so good. Ponytail all day is a bad idea. You shouldn't do ponytail all day. Just letting you know. Ponytail all day, bad. I saw a fat meteor burning through the sunset on my way back to work. Wonder what cavemen thought. Still blows me away each time I see one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. A meteorite. Who knows what they fucking thought, man? They probably thought that there was like one of the stars fell or something. Is making a fire harder whilst tripping? Yes. Everything's a little bit thick when you're tripping, but it can be done if you're careful. A river of copper extravagance? Yeah, that's right. Dude, who knows? Who knows what cavemen used to think? That's the sad thing about it, is that like really the only thing that we know about, our hunter-gatherer cave-dwelling days is told from some cave paintings. I mean, it's really, and the tools that these people left behind, like that, those are really the only insights we have into their inner lives and what they considered to be important. And, there are some beautiful Neolithic cave paintings of animals. So we know that human beings back then, at the very least, had an eye for artistic expression. They wanted to take what they saw and preserve it for posterity. And that really is the genesis of art, is being inspired by something in the real world to create something that's not from the real world. And we look at their cave paintings and we see how important the animals and game that they hunted were to them. They painted buffaloes, water buffaloes, and hippos, and elephants, and crazy fucking, sloths, and tigers, and panthers, and, all these animals played a very important role. There's the clan of the cave bear in Europe, who revered the now extinct cave bear and would create niches for their skulls inside of their caves and stuff. So if you look at human culture and human artistic expression now, it's super widely varied from person to person and region to region, and you have to expect that human beings are always that way. And so being able to go and learn what the inner lives of those people was like is something that's very fascinating to me, because it's really something that's lost to time. What did they think about the world and their place in it? What did they think about the animals that they so meticulously painted up on the cave walls? What did they think about themselves when they put themselves into those paintings? What's the story behind those paintings? You see a story, or you see a painting of, a human figure with a spear and a buffalo rearing back, and you think, like, was that just an artistic expression of something that he saw, or was there a whole story behind what this cave person tried to put up on the wall that he was trying to preserve? Maybe his father was killed. Maybe her mother was killed by a buffalo out on the hunt. Could be painting strategy or a dream they had. Yep. Be interesting to hear their stories for sure. Prehistoric legends sounds so cool. I think it would unlock a lot of the mysteries of how we came to be what we are now. How we moved from a hunter-gatherer mindset in society to, this, whatever this is, this service economy. There's a cave painting of a mammoth being trapped in a hole by people with spears, and it's theorized that it was painted as instruction. Sure. I mean, it may well have been like a manual for people. Here's how you catch this animal. Their inner lives were every bit as complex as ours. They may not have been as harried as we are. They may not have been as distracted as we are with multiple sources of information, but their inner lives were every bit as rich as ours. Cave, people in Neolithic times, they had dreams, aspirations. They loved, they listened, they spoke. They wrote for posterity some of the things that they did. They did their best. And we're still doing that. We're still engaged in that story. We're still telling that story, but we don't know the beginning. We could only theorize about the beginning of the story. Yep, they sang and danced. Be interesting to compare their stories to ours in terms of narrative structure to see if they relate to any of the stuff that humanity has written down. I mean, I'm sure you would see the beginnings of human mythology there. What did they believe about the universe, or what did they believe about the planet that they lived on and their place in it? That's, a religious question. What kind of deities, if any, did they worship? What did they think their place was within that structure? Were they subservient to the deity, or were they co-equal with the deity? Were they nature worshipers? One of the saddest things in our society is the erasing of the clear night sky. A completely clear view of the stars is a religious experience. Very much so, yeah. I mean, if you've never actually gotten up to an elevation and seen a non-hazy night sky where you can see the Milky Way just striped across the sky, it is absolutely amazing. And you got to imagine a pair of human eyes, 40,000 years ago or 30,000 years ago looking up at that same phenomenon, How did they interpret it? What did they believe about it? Camping in the Adirondacks as soon as it gets warm enough. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, I'm of the belief that all animals have an inner life as complex as any human beings. Fight me about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you would argue that for or against, really. I mean, we barely understand our own inner experience, so trying to speculate about the inner experience of another species is, who knows, man. Who knows what an animal thinks. I like thinking about shit like this. There are holes at the poles, and the northern and southern lights are heat waves that protrude from them. Oh, okay. Plus, it would likely depend on the type of animal. An ant and a dog likely have different inner lives. Well, yeah, of course. Different, but just as complex, possibly. Dinor has a rich and profound sense of emotional intelligence, you think? I don't know about that. I mean, he can definitely, here's the thing. Dinor can read my moods and the moods of people around him. When I'm having a bad day, Dinor is very subdued and he stays near me. When I'm having a good day, you can tell he feels it too. We have an effect on one another. It's like when he had this ear infection and he was not feeling good for a few days. Neither was I. I felt like shit. Not physically ill, just really incapable of, dealing on a normal level because he wasn't feeling right. And that's the kind of emotional connection that we're talking about here. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't two-way. The sequel to Ishmael talks about everything you just went into. I know. Yeah, animals can sense that shit. Animals have emotional lives as well, and they can sense that kind of pain in other people. Paul Dinor is the most intellectual being in the universe. You're right. You're right, Naughty Priest. Yet again. Dogs can smell when you're on acid. Well, Dinor has smelled that smell before. I feel bad for Dinor when I trip acid sometimes. Well, it's been a long time since I've tripped acid, but because he's so expressive that it becomes hard for me to look at him. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, my brain is so intent on ascribing meaning to the things that I'm seeing when I'm tripping acid that looking at Dinor is very hard, because his emotional life radiates from him. Whenever we talk about the shared emotional connection between human and animals, I'm reminded of the classic quote, "There's a language older by far and deeper than words." Yes. True that. Yeah, Dinor's got these big brown eyes that you just can't look away from, you know? When he locks them on you, you can just feel them on you, and you have to look at him, you know? We evolved to speak. Yeah, well, speaking is one way to transfer information. But 80% or so of human communication is nonverbal. Do I look at each and every one of these comments? I look at as many as I can. I look at as many as I can. Oh, man. Fire is going now. I can go warm my butt by it. Finally. Finally, it's of booty warming quality. I'm looking forward to finally going to India to spend 6 months living with yogis. I feel I will transform a lot being in their presence and living a monk-like lifestyle for a bit. Hey, who knows? Who knows? You might just be Julia Roberts and Eat, Pray, Love, man. What are you poo-alling me for, bro? Toast the buns, yeah. Toast these buns. It's pretty good. It's going now. I'm going to throw another log on it, make sure it stays going. Let's see. Let's pick a good candidate here. That one's pretty fucking big. This will work. This'll work. This is a good log. Boom, 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 chicka-choo. Boom, 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 chicka-choo. You got some days off now, right? Yeah. Tomorrow and the next day. So Sunday, Monday. Did you ever self-diagnose a mental illness? No. I need some more liquid. I'll be right back. Want to say hi to everybody, D? Or no? You want to say hello? Come here. Come here. Come see me. Shake it out. You can get your ball? Oh. Okay.
You gotta give it though.
No take, only throw. No take, only throw. Get your ball. Come on, bring it. Come on. You gotta give it. Oh, D. No take, only throw. No take, only throw. Professor D, yeah. We were just talking about how smart Dinor is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not traditional book smart. Come here, you little rascal. Oh, I hit it on the chair.
Oh, D.
Dad's always so good at that. You want more? Go give it. How did you lost it again? How did you lose it when it was bouncing? Bouncing right here. Come on. Oh, D. Oh, D. I'll take a pee now. Let's see.
All done.
D, come here. Come on. Come on. Get him out. Don't bring the ball again. Get him out.
Nope.
It's like, no. All right. Fair enough. Watch your little tail.
insert boring question here, super chat.
Oh, yeah? Please insert boring question here. Indubitably. D's ear is fine. He's feeling much better, Hundy. Feeling much better. Looks better off in there. It's not red anymore, and it's not crusty anymore, so. He's still got another week of meds. Another week of eardrops to go, but he's doing good. Feeling better, I can tell. Which means that I'm feeling better. Here's a boring question. How to calculate the size of the universe with everything you have learned in the school? I can't remember anything that I learned in school that would help me with that. Yeah, I probably learned some shit that would be interestingly useful there at some point, but it's all fled my mind now. Oh, day. Yeah, it's hella big. That's my scientific idea. Oh yeah, dude, the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared must equal C squared. Is college really worth it? I think it is for some people and it isn't for others. There's no answer to that. I had someone try to cancel me on Facebook today because they randomly messaged me some dumb shit about how anarcho-primitivism doesn't have a way to provide for the disabled. I know how Jensen responds, but how would you? I mean, number one, we're horrible at caring for disabled people now. So, our treatment of people who are disabled is not something to crow about. And number two, there is extensive anthropological evidence that tribal societies all pitch in to take care of disabled people. So when you have a smaller conclave of people, their problems become your problems. It's like one of the things that I think, suffer for in modern society is the fact that we live amongst one another closer than ever to one another in terms of distance from us to our neighbors. We're all kind of packed in like sardines, but nobody speaks to one another. No one feels any sense of obligation or duty towards any other person that lives on the same land as they do. And that's one of the reasons why mental health is not taken care of properly. That's one of the reasons why physical health is not taken care of properly. It's because it's not our problem, it's your problem. When you live in a tribal society or a small group of nomadic people, everyone's problem is your problem. Your problem is everyone's problem. So that's how I would respond to that.
Something right in your beard, sweetie.
Got a drip.
Yeah, you got it.
But Paul, what if you need pharmaceuticals to survive? How would we produce insulin for diabetics under primitivism? I don't know that there would necessarily be the amount of diabetics that there are under anarcho-primitivism.
I mean, ultimately, no society is perfect. how it is.
Right. In a tribal society, everyone has a duty to that tribe. Everyone has a place in that tribe, and everything that they do is for the betterment of that tribe. So whether their job is to go out in the hunting party and chase down a gazelle for 20 miles and drag it back to camp, or keep that camp safe from other tribes or animals, or keep the fire burning, or make the clothing or weapons, rear the children. There are ups and downs. You can't get heart surgery, but the planet is not left completely uninhabitable. Right. I mean, there's absolutely no way, in my mind, that we can transition to a safe and sane way for all fucking like 8 billion of us to live in harmony where everybody's problems are taken care of. It's not going to happen.
Like in this society, we have hundreds of thousands dying from starvation and poor water and
Right.
stuff like that. So yeah, all these like medical conditions suck in anarcho-primitivism, but then you don't have people starving and getting sick from unfresh water.
I mean, people clearly starved back then. There were times where, you know, the tribe would fucking go through hard times. The Ice Age almost killed humanity with that because of just how cold it got and how the game moved and died off. So, you know, this idea that life was just like peaches and cream and roses back then, no. Life has never been peaches and cream and roses. We've offset some of the suffering of living in a primitive way for more suffering. So yes, you're absolutely right. In primitive societies, people were born with diabetes and probably died horrible early deaths. People were born with untreatable heart defects and died early deaths. But people weren't stuck in traffic all day. People weren't relegated to sitting in a cubicle for 14 hours a day, staring at an electric screen. People, you know what I mean? We've replaced the kind of savagery and unknown nature of living in a tribal society and living a mostly solitary tribal life to living in this conglomeration of people where there's nothing real anymore. You know, I don't know that necessarily anarcho-primitivism is a way forward. I think it's going to be a forced way forward for humanity. I think that humanity is destined to return to that level before it passes. Our modern society is filled with wondrous convenience in comparison to the old society, but at what cost? At what cost have we gained the convenience of modern society? And I don't mean just the cost to the planet. I mean the cost to ourselves, to our psychology. What's been the cost of human beings being treated like number crunchers for fucking 7 generations? What's the cost of human beings being treated like labor chattel for 12 generations? What's the psychological end game here? And what are we as an animal that evolved to live from the land and in harmony with the land supposed to do with domination of the land? We as a species dominate every square inch of this fucking planet, but we as people have no power. We as individuals have no power. What are we to do with that? How are we to cope with that? How are we to come to some sort of an equilibrium in our lives with that hanging over our heads. There's some movie about a caveman who was immortal and lived through all of humanity to tell the story to his friends. I forget what it was called or whether it was good, but I'm reminded of that. I can't remember that movie. These questions are uncomfortable. I'll be honest with you. They're uncomfortable for most people to ask, including myself. It's like, what's the cost benefit analysis of living in a modern society for your average person versus living with a tribal group? And you've brought up, here in the chat, some interesting questions. How do you deal with a diabetic? How do you deal with somebody whose heart doesn't work? How do you deal with somebody who's mentally handicapped? How do you deal with all of the things that we deal with in this society, but without all of the tools that we've made in this society? And the answer is in those tribal societies. The answer is there. The world was a harsh and unforgiving place. People didn't live very long back in the times that we're talking about. But their lives perpetuated through the generations. Anyway. Little lap boy. I wanted you to get on my lap. You wouldn't do it. You want some mom lap. Minor medical problems become gravely serious. A broken bone or a deep wound would be very deadly. I mean, a deep wound or broken bone can be deadly today, but you're right. Can you imagine how smelly they were back then? I think you might be surprised. That's another thing that I think that humanity has kind of falsely placed as a sign of being civilized, is that we keep a certain type of fucking hygiene. I think you might be surprised that, people might have had a sense of hygiene that is better than you think. I'm sure people did stink, but people fucking reek now, You're banking on technology to save us? Well, it's not gonna. I mean, it's not like we get to go back now, so who cares? Yeah, we do get to go back. We're going to get to go back. There will come a time when there are human beings living on this planet amongst the detritus of this giant civilization that we live in that can barely use a fucking thing that we've left behind. The magic machine. Maybe benign mental illnesses are a bit less of an issue when the guy is helping you hunt an elk or something. Maybe benign mental illnesses didn't exist in the way that they exist now. Maybe a lot of modern mental illness is a result of the way that we live and a result of the high stress, high pressure, high performance society that we live in. We live in a society where you're told from a very young age that if you don't overachieve, that you will never be a thing. You'll never go anywhere. You'll never have anything. And chances are that's correct. I mean, that's not 100% true, Little View. Going back, we could all go back to the Stone Age right now, and the climate collapse would still happen. The climate will reset itself after it collapses, but not before. Like, we could all stop now, make our carbon footprint 0, and start living as fucking hunter-gatherers, and the world would still face an apocalyptic climate crisis. We've done the damage already. Ask Venus if it reset itself. Wore my Doomer shirt when I visited my mom last week, and she asked, why is there a hobo on my shirt? Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you just look like a hobo. Man, you're wishing for a society. I'm not wishing for any society, Scott. I'm talking about the difference between a tribal hunter-gatherer society, which the human body and mind evolved to live in, and the strange techno dystopia that we live in now. And I'm talking about the differences between those two. I'm not wishing for any kind of primitive society or anything.
Applying things like ableism to what you're talking about is missing the point.
I mean, yeah, the whole idea is to discuss the difference between the inner lives of human beings and the fulfillment of human beings in two different fucking types of society. I mean, if you're going to sit there and tell me that there aren't people with mental illness or physical deformities or physical disabilities that aren't pushed by the wayside and allowed to just die in modern society, I don't know what to fucking tell you. But I'm not advocating for one thing or another here. We're having a conversation. There seem to be people like Scott Halverson who are, and I kind of understand why. When you talk about stuff like this, there are people who are very invested in the continuance of the modern world. And so when you talk like this about the possibility or the inevitability, as I believe, of the modern world going away one day and being replaced with something far more primitive, they get very defensive. Like, you can see how Scott has been in here he's just mad. Like, I've read 2 or 3 of his comments, and every one of his comments is trying to wrap me up in a gotcha. And it's like, I understand. I get it. You know what I mean? It's scary, yeah. Stating that the human mind evolved for a hunter-gatherer existence is making a flawed assumption that the human mind has finished evolving. Evolution is a continuous process we're still subject to, yeah. But it also takes millions of years. If you were to take a human brain today and a human brain from back in the day, the only way that you'd be able to tell the difference in a scientific way from a 20,000-year-old human brain and a human brain freshly harvested from a corpse would be you would find a lot more chemicals and petrochemicals and plastics and shit like that existent in the brain of the more modern person. A human brain is a human brain. It's not been long enough for human brains to have fundamentally changed from 30,000 years ago. Sorry. Well, whatever, just throwing some stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Nothing's sticking, bro. You might want to just shut up.
I'm just trying to dry, like, on the side of his face.
Oh, trying to take some of that oily off. Poor guy. Got oily ear. That medicine's got oilies, huh?
I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to dry you. I'm gonna make you dry.
I'd probably be long dead in an anarcho-primitivist society. I'd have nothing to contribute. Maybe, though, my depression and social anxiety might not even have developed in such a society. I don't know. You would be a completely, almost unrecognizable person if you were raised in an anarcho-primitivist, tribalist society. You'd be a completely unrecognizable person. You wouldn't even recognize yourself. But it would have to evolve fast since we have evidence to human brain growth and the need to get smarter for survival. You don't understand how long it takes for such genetic mutations to take hold in a population. We have not had enough time for human brains to completely and utterly evolve into something different. We are the same human beings that hunted buffalo on the primitive plains.
Like a great example is panic attacks.
Panic attacks, depression, social anxiety, all of these things, as far as we can tell, are responses to a modern world.
There's no point for panic attacks unless you're getting attacked by a jaguar or something.
Right. Thank you for the kitty. Do you think language was invented before agriculture? I know it was, and so do we. So do you, if you read. It's doable. I'm gonna do it. I'll literally be living in the forest and learn foraging, making fires, crafting tools, building shelters, etc. Yeah, you can do it. Advocating for anarcho-primitivism is not necessarily about changing yourself to be some insanely powerful juggernaut. It's about guiding us through a gentle crash landing with this collapse. I mean, or maybe having us learn how to live without the modern convenience and population density and modern economy and modern food delivery and all of that fun stuff. It's about getting ourselves ready for what's coming. They were documented by the Greeks and Romans, who you would not call modern. The Greeks and Romans lived in an agricultural civilization. With government, they were modern. Sorry. Greeks and Romans are, in a lot of scholars' estimation, the beginning of modernity. So, yeah. Panic attacks were observed and described in ancient Rome, which you can imagine living in that. If you've ever been to Los Angeles, just imagine that, but with horse shit instead of streets.
Slavery and all that shit.
Yeah, I think that makes my point, not argues it against it. Neanderthals didn't have language and we wiped them out due to our intelligence advantage. We don't know that Neanderthals didn't have language. They had a functioning larynx and they had very, very similar brains to ours, so most scientists believe that they probably did have some kind of language rudiment.
And we fucked them, so.
Yeah, we fucked them and made them into us. So they are us. We're Neanderthals. We fucked them or they fucked us out of existence, you know? Some historians use modern to mean post-Renaissance. Right. I mean it to mean pre- and post-civilization. And civilization is marked or typified, as Derek Jensen says, by the creation of cities that require the importation of resources. because they have denuded the landscape that the city is on of that resource. The only thing that stops me from leaving society is that I'm afraid to be alone. How does one be in touch with those who are far away from technology? I don't know. I don't know, buddy.
I don't know if you'd have anyone you'd want to know far away.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have all the answers for you. What you doing? You resting your paws up on the table?
What are you doing? You got something to say?
Is that comfy? Is this comfy for you?
No. As soon as the camera's
Camera shy boy? You're comfy?
You might have caught him for a second with his paws still up.
Oh, D. Technology will solve the world's problems. The magic machine is just around the corner. That means we don't have to do anything. We can just wait for some brilliant magician to invent the magic machine that will suck all of the carbon out of the atmosphere and deacidify the ocean and suck all the microplastics out of everybody's bodies and reset things back to the way they ought to be. Make way for the magic machine. Let's all just pretend it's not collapsing till the magic machine comes along to fix it all.
Yeah, dude, we've known about plastics for how many years now? And we're just like, plastic.
Throw it in the water. Throw it in the fucking ground. Bury it. Feed it to all the fish. Who fucking cares? Human ingenuity will solve the problem. Oh, yes. We're working on it. We're on the case. Magic machines like airplanes, impossible, right? There's a little bit of a difference between an airplane, which uses the established fucking laws of aerodynamics, and a fucking fantasy machine that fixes the fucking planet. Well, are you willing to at least give me that there's a little bit of a difference between a machine that takes, advantage of aerodynamic flight and some sort of MacGuffin machine that sucks all the carbon out of the atmosphere while also purifying the oceans, right? Or no? Are we not going to be that charitable tonight? To you, maybe an airplane was a fantasy to someone living 200 years ago, right? So we don't have 200 years, number one, and number two, you have to fucking make the argument that it's fixable. See, people saw birds flying, and they used the principles that allowed those birds to fly to create a machine that could fly. We've never seen anything in the environment suck carbon out of the atmosphere and pull acid out of the ocean. Yeah, a magic machine that somehow brings back all of the species that have gone extinct. All of the ecosystems that are dead now. The magic machine going to do it all, right? That's why it's different. The airplane solved one problem. How does man fly? We're facing like 17 existential crises right now, and you're talking about technology solving them all before it collapses, and it's not going to happen. Bonsoir, mon ami. Algae does those things well. Hopefully they don't do it too well and cause another frozen Earth. That's the future.
People talk about carbon capture, but it's like, if we know what carbon capture is, why haven't we just made it our sole priority for the past 10 years?
Because that would require us not funneling money up to billionaires. That would require...
That's the other thing. Like, there's the magic machine, and there's the profit of the magic machine, which
Right.
is zero.
As of right now, yeah. Maybe when the magic machine is invented, you probably won't be able to afford to turn it on. Yeah, the magic machine is going to fix tons and tons of stuff.
What are you boofing at?
What are you boofing? I'm pro-tech and anti-capitalist. Well, good for you. Let's see how that works out for you. Paul, I'm an independent game developer and followed you for years. It would be so dope if you recorded some lines for an NPC in a side quest. Well, hit me up on Twitter and I'll see what I can do for you.
Come sit with mom.
Would you be mad if I recorded an album as the Magic Machine? No? Go ahead. Go ahead. The Magic Machine. A sci-fi book in the 70s said the magic machine would infinitely torture us. Is that I have no mouth and I must scream? Am the Allied master computer? It's a Harlan Ellison story. I think because I am. Harlan Ellison was crazy. Yes, he was. The best kind of crazy. Woof, woof. Woof, woof.
What?
Woof, woof.
What do you see?
Bork, bork.
Over here.
Something's got you all riled up, huh?
You tell them that cat pooped on her porch?
Yes, I did that morning. Cat dropped deuce right on our porch. Let's pick your butt. Pet your head. Scratch your butt. Thank you. Thank you.
What? Move back?
Yeah, dude, Cat was establishing dominance on us. It was like, I shit on your doorstep, fool. What now?
What's it gonna do next? Bring us a bird?
I hope not. I hope it doesn't go that far. Paul, will you join the socialist revolution when I start it? Yeah, you go ahead. You jump it off and I'll be there, man. I'll man the guillotines for you. I'm there for it, man. I'm all the way there for it. Oh. Oh. Fuck this back. Fuck having a back. Fuck being the owner of a back. That's what I want. I don't care about the magic machine. I want the fucking cyber spine. Give me the cyber spine or give me death. Yeah, I need a Wolverine back. Adamantium skeleton now.
Then it poisons them over time.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll take it.
Watch your bones.
Am I too close? All right. Oh, burn me. Find ways to decompress your spine and shoulders. I do, trust me. I break myself upon the chirp wheel. I finally learned how to use it properly and which one works best for me, and so now I know how to do it. What is this? Is this your ball? Go get that. Go fetch that ball. Cool. Enjoy the book.
Oh yeah, I forgot I brought his water in because the bowl was dirty.
Oh, you got no water out here?
Go get him a water.
Foam rollers and stretching bands. I don't use stretching bands, but I do use rollers. The chirp wheel is a big roller that I use on my back. Losing weight will help my back too. If you hang off a pull-up bar, it will help your back. Okay. I'll hang off a pull-up bar. A dink.
The other one was having like green stuff growing in it.
Oh. Well, there you go, Dee. Got some water now. Nice. Nice burp. Nice borp. Don't hang off a pull-up bar. You will damage your shoulders. Man, I love internet doctors. Hang off a pull-up bar. No, don't do that. It'll kill you. It's like, the fuck out of here, internet docs. Internet rehabilitation specialists.
I'm pretty sure the answer is no one knows how to fix backs all the way.
Yep. I do what I can. I stretch my back how I know how to stretch my back. Give me that ball.
I'm pretty sure even the best spinal surgeon doesn't ultimately know how to fix the back.
Nope. Love how I just get like random contradictory advice from people constantly. I hurt my shoulders unloading a truck while slaving away in retail hell. Whoa.
Get over here.
You say it? Paul, don't stretch your back or you'll instantly combust into flames. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Shit. Better stop stretching.
People just have to deal with the fetch breaks.
Yep, just the way it is. Sometimes you gotta fetch Dynor. Essence of Newt. I'm done. I'll see you later.